Tonight, Rowan Ramsey remains optimistic as recounting for the federal seat of Grey continues. And the Spencer Gulf town repainting emergency numbers on curbs in case of emergencies.
From our 7 Spencer Gulf studios, your nightly news with Madeline Kerr begins now.
Good evening, thanks for joining us. After a big weekend at the polls, those in the electorate of Grey have made their choice on who they want to represent them. With a large roster of candidates vying for the role, it looks like it will be Rowan Ramsey who retains the seat.
Liberal MP Rowan Ramsey looks set to retain his seat in the electorate of Grey, a position he has held since 2007. Despite leading in first preference votes, Mr Ramsey is yet to officially declare victory due to a muddle-up in Grey's 2-candidate preferred count.
The AEC did the two-party preferred wrongly on the weekend, as happened in 2016. So we're actually facing a complete recount and full redistribution of preferences now. I think the primary votes are such that I'm very confident, but we actually haven't seen how those preference flows play out yet.
Despite the recount, the member for Grey says he's optimistic that he will not lose his seat to any other candidates.
It's the first time I've faced 8 people trying to get the same job. There was a lot of attention around one independent in particular, and that appears to be somewhat misplaced.
Mr Ramsey says he believes this election period was particularly toxic, with candidates allegedly resorting to smear campaigns more than ever before.
And I was pretty unhappy about some media sources and a personal attack on me that occurred through the campaign. So I think that's about as nasty as it's gotten, Grey.
Mr Ramsey says he is glad that voters were able to bypass the political noise and see his continued commitment to improving regional and rural locations, saying he has long supported and will continue to support the improvement of roads, mental health services, as well as community and sporting infrastructure, while also being optimistic for Grey's economic future with major industry projects now on the horizon.
We've got, for instance, the money coming for the hydrogen hub, for the green cement, for the protein processing facilities down on the Adelaide Plains, because you work for them, because I work for them, and I hope that people have seen the value in that.
Edward McCarroll, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
The Country Fire Service is taking the time to acknowledge the hard work of its helpers this week, coming off the back of National Volunteers Week. Emergency crews in Port Lincoln thanking its volunteers as they continue to prepare for this year's fire season.
The red and yellow colours are a familiar sight for most of us, but it's the people behind the uniform who we need to thank for keeping us safe.
If it wasn't for our volunteers, we wouldn't be here. It's the tireless effort, it's the sacrifice, and that message extends out to families too.
With National Volunteers Week wrapped up for another year, the South Australian Country Fire Service wants to make sure our local first responders know how appreciated they are.
There's so much of Australia that you don't notice goes on without the volunteer impact. You know, you've got a tree down, it's other volunteers that are coming out to clear the road.
Emergency services are also taking a moment to highlight the importance of preparing properties ahead of the cooler months, especially when it comes to heating the home.
Coming into the winter months, the chilly season's upon us. We just want to put the message out that the CFS and the MFS are responding to structure fires that are possibly caused through blocked chimneys and flues.
You know, get up and clean your gutters, make sure that the water's flowing freely. You know, make sure that any overhanging branches over the sides of your sheds or your houses are trimmed back so they're not going to fall on your house and cause damage.
With fire season still a few months away, the CFS says it's never too early to put strategies in place.
It is a good chance and opportunity for property owners to start preparing their property for the upcoming fire season, although it does start relatively on the 1st of November.
And while volunteering with the CFS comes with its challenges, those who do donate their time know how rewarding it can be.
If anyone's ever available and interested in volunteering for any service, just reach out and have a chat to your local brigade, unit or service.
For more information on ways to prepare for this year's fire season, you can visit the CFS website or by contacting your regional headquarters. Henry Millick, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Still to come tonight, how a bit of spray paint can help save a life as the Stirling North community comes together for a working bee. And a popular food van rolls into Port Pirie after experiencing some permit issues. Welcome back to 7 Spencer Gulf News. Members of the Stirling North community rallied behind their local police over the weekend, participating in a project that will help emergency services get to their location quicker. But it wasn't all work. The community-based group also found plenty of time to have some fun in the sunshine.
Banding together for a good cause. Stirling North Neighbourhood Watch hosting a local working bee at Burt Mackenzie Park yesterday.
So we've joined together with the Neighbourhood Watch to paint numbers on Progress Avenue here in Stirling North.
It's a great opportunity to be able to work together and to do something to contribute to the community.
With many of Stirling North's curbside street numbers fading away, the local group decided to use their Sunday morning to restore the weathered numbers with spray paint.
The numbers, they're there, but they're rubbed off. So if we have to go somewhere in a hurry and locate a house, it's near impossible to locate in a hurry. So ambulance, police, it's going to benefit everyone.
It's often hard for them to find a particular house and the numbers, so we felt it was up to us to contribute something back to the community and to help them as well in the long run.
To reward those who were working out in the sun all morning, organisers fired up the barbecue for a sausage sizzle. The working session turning into a fun family day out, with many hanging around to play some footy or just kick back and relax in the park. Organisers say they hope the event encourages more people to join their community-based group.
We meet on the last Tuesday of each month at 7:30 in the Progress Hall, and everyone is welcome to attend.
There's always at least 3 police officers at every Neighbourhood Watch meeting. I think we're very involved.
SAPOL says they are thrilled that residents are invested in making their communities the safest they can be, encouraging all interested locals to participate in future events. Edward McCarroll, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Popular mobile food vendor Smoky Uppercuts has pulled into Port Pirie, parking up to serve delicious food to the public. The food van is back in business after a small break due to permit issues, setting up shop in Flinders View Park.
Port Pirie residents started the week on a high, with Smoky Uppercuts returning to town. South Australia's biggest mobile barbecue has been visiting Port Pirie and surrounding towns since the start of 2021 and have received plenty of great feedback.
We've got the truck and we love to visit regional towns in SA and take our food on the road.
The business had a short break from Port Pirie due to permit issues, but says the council reached out to them and was super helpful when finding a solution.
The support and the enthusiasm from the Pirie locals is amazing. Really overwhelming, especially the last few weeks. So we really enjoy coming back to Port Pirie.
Dylan believes COVID had a lot to do with the business's success and the overall food truck movement, as they were still able to operate and bring excitement and social interaction into people's days.
Isolation thing, but they said, mobile food businesses are still able to operate. So we took that as a massive advantage, and we utilised it. And, a lot of people were very grateful.
The business is in the process of purchasing property in Whyalla, giving them room to grow, and the opportunity to start home deliveries.
The customers that ordered were ones that had never had the opportunity to try our food before.
Smoky Uppercuts hope to start a consistent circuit of when they are visiting regional towns, so locals know when to expect them without checking their social media. Annabelle Francis, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Stay with us after the break. Police in Port Lincoln nabbed drivers doing the wrong thing on election day. And we went along to a song and dance spectacular at Theatre 44 in Broken Hill. Welcome back to 7 Spencer Gulf News. It was a busy weekend for Port Lincoln Police as they stopped 2 drivers for traffic offences. Just before 1 a.m. on Saturday the 21st of May, police reportedly stopped a Holden sedan on Oxford Terrace to conduct a random breath test. The driver, a 33-year-old Port Lincoln man, allegedly blew a blood alcohol reading of 0.077. He was handed a notice for allegedly driving over the alcohol limit. In the other incident, around 9:30 on Saturday night, Police stopped a car on Porter Street after a check revealed the driver was displaying unassigned Queensland plates. Police will allege the driver was a 26-year-old man from Port Lincoln and was found to be driving while disqualified. He's been bailed to appear at Port Lincoln Magistrates Court at a later date. It was an afternoon of Disney songs as the Broken Hill Repertory Society held their first concert of the year on Sunday. All those in attendance were treated to songs from classics such as Pete's Dragon, as well as new movies like Encanto.
From Belle to Mulan to The Lost Boys and Rapunzel, all your favourite Disney characters were at Theatre 44 on Sunday, singing songs that were sure to get your feet tapping.
Great selection of different fairy tales and great kids and great adults. It's lovely to see and good audience, lovely audience today too.
The Broken Hill Repertory Society holding their first concert of the year. And while some of the younger performers may have been a little bit nervous, they certainly weren't showing it when the curtains were pulled back.
I think the kids take it in their stride. I mean, they all get a little bit nervous, but you see them grow from one concert to the next, and this was no different. There was some fairly new performers here this time, but there are also some seasoned performers.
While those on stage welcomed the accolades from the audience, performances like this one couldn't be done without the hard work and effort put in by the back of house and front of house crews.
Amazing performers all around there. They did a great job. And then the front of house people and the people in the canteen.
Mr. Harris praised the audience in attendance, saying they can often make or break a show.
The audience are half the show. If the audience want a good show, they be a good audience and they'll get a good show.
Looking ahead, there will be another couple of concerts before year's end. The theatre's president wants to see the space used by anyone who needs it. He is also hoping someone out there may be able to show the kids a little bit of magic.
I would love for these kids, say, to learn magic. So is there somebody out there who's got an interest in magic, even if they're not a magician themselves, but is willing to learn something off YouTube and then come and teach?
Joshua Mercer, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Stay with us after the break. We'll have the weekend footy scores from across the Spencer Gulf and over the border in Broken Hill. And we'll have the weather details with Alex Sykes. Welcome back to 7 Spencer Golf News. Teams are starting to assert their dominance in local football competitions around the region. But the big question is, will they be there at the business end of the season? Joshua Mercer has this week's footy wrap.
Jubilee Oval hosted a doubleheader in the Silver City on Saturday, with South Broken Hill showing they are once again the team to beat with a big win over North by 51 points. The game had plenty of feeling in it, with tempers looking as if they were about to boil over at any moment. North kept up with their opponents in the first quarter. However, South were just too good from then on, winning 15-9-99 to 7-6-48. Cody Shawn led the way for South with 6 goals, while Anthony Henderson and Shane Dalby kicked 2 for North. In the other game, West Broken Hill avenged their round 1 loss to Central, winning by 11 points, 10-7-67 to 8-8-56. Brock Ellis topping the goal-scoring list for West, booting 3. Moving over to Port Lincoln, and Marble Range defeated Mallee by 14 points, 11-9-75 to 9-7-61. The win seeing them stay undefeated and sitting on top of the table. Lincoln South were too strong for Boston, winning 10-8-68 to 6-13-49. And the Tasman Roosters beat Wayback Football and Sporting Club 12-8-80 to 10-9-69. Taking a look at the Spencer Golf League, Solomon Town had a big win over West Augusta, beating them by 107 points, 21-14-140 to 5-3-33. Proprietary Risdon had a good win over South Augusta, 17-18-120 to 12-5-77. And Port ran out winners a 10-12-72 to Central Augusta's 6-15-51. Over to the Whyalla Football League, and it was a horror day for South Whyalla, failing to score any points against Central Whyalla. West Whyalla down Rapina 13-7-85 to 9-7-61. Weeroona Bay defeated North Whyalla 12-7-79 to 7-14-56. And finally, to the Yorke Peninsula, CYC beat Southern Eagles by 34 points. Munter had a big win over Ardrossan. Kadina scraped home over CMS by 5 points. And Wallaroo beat Butte. That was a look at football results from across the region. We will be back tomorrow night with the rest of the weekend's sporting action.
Time now to take a look at what's happening in the weather with Alex Sykes. Alex, there's some rain on the way.
Thanks, Maddie. Yes, that's right. After relatively dry conditions last week, we are in for a wet one over the next few days in some parts. From 3 p.m, Port Augusta reached max of 25. Port Lincoln was mostly sunny and 22, and Broken Hill got to 19. Whyalla and Clare were both 21 degrees. Kadina, Cleve and Adelaide all reached 23 degrees. Port Pirie and Woodner got to a max of 24. Taking a look at the satellite image now, clouds scattering across South Australia's west and north is causing isolated showers northeast from the Flinders and in the state's far west. Mostly clear skies in the south under a high, allowing it to cool rapidly overnight, which will cause fog and frost in patches. Moving on to tomorrow's weather outlook now, and we'll start with the Gulf waters. Northeasterly winds 10 to 15 knots, seas around 1 metre, and south to southwesterly swells below 1 metre. Showers forecast across the region tomorrow. Port Lincoln, Cleve and Woodner all set to reach 21 degrees, with showers increasing in Woodner. Possible late showers in the upper Spencer Gulf, with Whyalla to reach 22. Port Augusta will get to a high of 23, and Kadina is set to top 21. Port Pirie to top 24 degrees, Clare 21, and over the border at Broken Hill, it'll be mostly sunny and a top of 19 degrees. Sadly, those showers are expected for the rest of the week in some parts of the region. It'll be 20 degrees in Port Augusta, Port Pirie, Port Lincoln and Whyalla on Wednesday. Cooper Pedy will have a morning shower or two and reach 23. 19 degrees forecast in Kadina and Adelaide, and Broken Hill will top 18 degrees. To Thursday's forecast now, it'll be sunny in Cooper Pedy with a max of 20 degrees. Port Augusta will reach 21. Broken Hill, Kadina and Adelaide all set to top 19. Woodner, Whyalla, Port Pirie and Port Lincoln all 20 degrees. Similar conditions again on Friday, partly cloudy in Cooper Pedy with 20 degrees again. Possible shower in Port Augusta, also 20 degrees. Partly cloudy in Woodner with 19. Showers in Port Pirie and Whyalla, both also 19 degrees, and it'll reach 18 degrees in Port Lincoln, Kadina and Adelaide. It appears winter has come a little early, Maddie, with those conditions, and that's all the weather from me for tonight. I'll see you a little later on with an update. It's back to you.
Thanks for that, Alex. And that's the local news this Monday. I'm Madeline Kerr. Thanks for joining us. I'll have updates a little later, but until then, enjoy your evening. Good night.